Welcome back to Stories Around the Campfire, folks. It's time to head to the House of Fun. It's time for some more Stories Around the Campfire.
Don't scare anyone. But I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason.
Hey, come back! Oh.
Next up on Stories Around the Campfire, we had a chance to watch the latest U.S. release of Funhouse, a film that was released internationally in 2019, finally came to the States. It's about a down-and-out backup singer and celebrity ex-husband, Casper, who's invited to compete in the Funhouse, an online reality show. To rebrand his image and tarnished reputation, Casper reluctantly accepts the offer, and together with 7 other C-list celebrities from around the globe, he will compete for a $5 million prize. This film was directed by Jason William Lee and stars one of the Skarsgård brothers. Colonel, initial thoughts on Funhouse?
All right, before I get started my initial thoughts for Funhouse, I just want to say this is a viewer winner. This is a competition to see what film we're going to review. Funhouse won. That being said, before I watched the movie, I watched the trailer. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I am in for a long one. Like, this looks terrible. After watching the movie, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Again, I'm not saying it was great. It was an entertaining watch, and yes, that Pennywise looking motherfucker. Oh my god, times I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
if it was his brother or not, because it looked like I was looking a fucking clone in the eye. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was actually pretty entertaining. Still kind of stupid, been done before, but entertaining. And I really dug the message behind the film. I really did. I was like, oh, I kind of dig this. So it wasn't too bad. Those are my initial thoughts.
All right. How about you, Ziggy?
You know, as somebody who used to tune into Big Brother and stuff like that, I actually found this to be quite entertaining. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's just nice to see, not that I think the way this person thinks in this movie, but just the message here I can relate to. I understand it because they're attacking the social influencer type people. It's like, think of it this way. What if Saw took over the Big Brother house and just turned their attention to all these social YouTubers and stuff like that? That's what you get with Funhouse. And it's not too bad, man.
Well, I made a similar comparison to films with Saw and like Escape Room. This is almost a combination of those two, if that makes any difference.
I like the way they approach this movie, but it lulls at certain points, and some of the choices they make, plot twists. They're not too hard to fucking figure out. I'm curious to hear what you guys did about that too, but I did enjoy it. It's not a bad watch.
Colonel, you brought up something that I was going to start with when I started seeing the votes come in, because like you said, this was a fan voted choice. We had to choose between 4 films to do a review on because we're all busy trying to squeeze in a couple hours every couple of weeks to be able to record these shows. So we didn't know which one we wanted to review, so we stuck it to the fans. And when the votes started coming in for this film, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Out of all 4 of those, this is the one you pick? The poster was the stupidest poster. The trailer was the most unpolished piece of shit out of the 4. The synopsis alone just sounds awful. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Are you guys, and I thought the fans were doing this to us on purpose. Like, let's pick the worst one. Watch them call this the Resort 2, the Funhouse, you know? And then I watched it and I was like, what? How did they know? And I'm thinking, our fans are some of the smartest in the world out there. I don't care what any of you dicks say.
Well, listen, let's not go too crazy, because I was personally rooting for Skull. And then after all that and the voting was done, I did watch the trailer for Skull. And that's 90 seconds of pure gory bliss, practical effect madness And I will be watching that one. It's probably going right to the zigzag zone. I'm telling you, this thing looked absolutely nuts, and it was fucking over the top practical stabbings with a big shard of glass.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh. So I was a little hurt that when it was all said and done, it was the Funhouse. Yeah. You know, I mean, but just goes to show you, you guys, you picked the right one. That other one might totally suck. We'll get back and let you know for sure. But hey, man, Funhouse is definitely cool.
Yeah. Well, you wanted the skull for the gore, but son of a bitch, man, you got some gore in this too.
A little.
And it wasn't bad. I thought some of the practical effects in this were pretty well done. Now, there was a lot of CGI as well, but there was definitely some practical effects. Ziggy, did you like that?
I did. For CGI, it was pretty good. But, man, something that movies like this like to do to avoid getting those heavy MPAA cuts, even though this is unrated, I believe, they show the reactions after someone gets assaulted or struck with a blunt object or a sword or an axe or whatever. You get the ooh of the people watching, you know?
Right. But then you see the results.
And then a quick shot of what's happening.
Right.
And if you stretch those scenes out a little bit, I would love to see a fucking director's cut where everything's there in all its glory. If someone's fucking drawn and quartered at one point, it's cool, but it could have been a lot cooler.
I'm kind of Zag on this one. I hate the cutaway. You come back, you see the aftermath. We all know Zag and I are gore whores. We fucking love that shit. So I like to credit that to a little movie called Dawn of the Dead, where Savini puts a machete in a zombie's fucking head. I want to see that fucking penetration. I want to see that shit all the way through. I don't want to fucking cut. And we get the aftermath. I want to see every last bit of it.
So you didn't like much of the gore in this, or you just had that little nitpick about it?
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing in this movie that blew me away gore-wise. I mean, even the human pinata part, I was kind of like, that's cool. But it was nothing to get my meter moving, you know what I mean?
Dude, if they would have really went all out on some practical gore with this movie, we are talking at a possible high entry for gore for this year.
I thought the opening scene was pretty damn intriguing because you got this guy just kind of sitting in a chair. He's got his tuxedo wearing servant assistant standing next to him. And then you kind of pull back and you see a woman basically beating the shit out of another woman with a baseball bat. And then he's like, well, finish it. You know what to do. And she has to stab her a bunch and pull her fucking heart out, put it on a silver tray, and present it to this asshole, this rich asshole that's running this game. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect. Like you guys have already said, I had super low expectations for this. And then that first scene just, okay, you've got my attention. Can you keep it for the next 90 minutes? Colonel, did that strike you that way? And did it work? Did it keep you?
It did, and it did. The acting is not fantastic. No. I've seen worse, but I've seen a lot better. So it was just the story and the plot. Like, what's it, Big Brother / Halloween Resurrection / I mean, there's so many comparisons I can put here to make this fucking movie.
Right.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, but it was enough to keep me interested. And then, like I said, there's one scene we had like our Instagram Ula. She's easy on the eyes. Not the best actor, but she pulled off one scene very fucking well. People are allowed to do whatever they wanted to, pretty much, to get likes, to live.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one scene, she's in the confessional room, and she like takes her shirt off, she's trying to be all sexy, rubbing her titties and shit. And then it's like, it just dawns on her like what she's doing. She's pretty much worn herself out. And then she proceeds to cover herself up and cry.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, like you just felt for her. Like, yeah. There are some shining parts in the acting. That scene just really stood out to me like, damn, you really feel what these people were having to fucking do just to try to survive.
Right. Well, and that, her portraying that scene that you're talking about, mirrored by the character Nero, who's running this show, watching that and just kind of like, you can see at first, he's like, yep, there you go. show them tits. That's right. Do what you have to do. And then when she starts crying, he almost gets angry, and juxtaposition of that was impressive to see. Ziggy, did you have any standouts on the acting, or did you think that scene played off well?
Yeah, the acting isn't over the top great in this, but I mean, they do enough. And the story is actually the star here, what's going on and the twists that they take, because they keep you guessing what's going on. I get the point Colonel's mentioning this scene, and it's absolutely because they're forced to go and do the testimonials just like they would on the Big Brother show, even after they know that it's a fucking murder house and everyone's going to die except one person. And they still got to go and do their daily testimonials. So they're a little rough for wear by then when they're doing that. So it works. That part works big time.
What did you think of the villain, Nero? Did you find his character believable and convincing, Ziggy?
Yes, I did. And it's hard not really like back or support what he's doing or everything, but you understand his mission for sure. He reminds me a lot of the John Travolta character in Operation Swordfish. He's a terrorist killer. There's a little bit of that there in this, where he's hating these social media people that are accomplishing nothing and demanding everything be handed to them. So he's got a strong message there that he's against. But he's also batshit crazy because the extremes that he takes. But he's an interesting character. This is probably, who knows, this could be someone we see more of, much like we did Jigsaw.
Okay. So, Colonel, same question. Did Nero, the villain, did he portray that well? Was that connection to the contestants, was that enough to carry that movie?
I think so. Well, it was a little over the top, but the character called for being over the top. I mean, later in the film, we find out this dude's a fucking billionaire. And he's like this fucking tech guru. So, to me, that kind of made up for him being so over the top. I'm watching like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Rich asshole, nothing better to do. Like, I totally understand. I get it. He did a good job of playing that cold-hearted asshole.
Cool. Yeah, I thought Nero, who's played by an actor named Jerome Valinsky, I thought he was pretty fucking compelling. Now, yes, was he over the top? A little bit. But this movie has this kind of tongue-in-cheek quality to it. But I think this character needed to be over the top to play with that tongue-in-cheek kind of quality of this film, because this is not meant to be a serious horror film. It's not a horror comedy, but it's almost like a horror satire, if that makes any sense. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh no. I mean, yeah, 100%. Like Zach was saying, it's definitely satire. But to me, it's more satire with a little bit of horror. I mean, I know it's a horror movie, but fuck, man. Like I say, take out the human pinata and put in some fucking competition from Big Brother. I mean, it's like I said, it's a satire film and a little bit on the darker side.
Ziggy, you sound like you agree with that as well.
100%, man. That's hard not to look at it. If you try to take this as a serious like horror film, as silly as the message is, that's what you got to go with here, and it drives the fucking story. I mean, it really does, and that's why I think I did it. Because I see these things. I watch my kid, some of the videos he watches, and man, we're fucked when these kids get to be adults and they don't know what the hell's going on in the real world. They think they got it all fucking clocked. Where did those subs stop coming in, man? Then what? This is going to be fucked up. So, I mean, this guy, in a weird way, he's trying to help almost, filtering out these fucking idiots that are out there influencing people the wrong way.
Well, I almost took his character as, like I said, a satire of the way some people view Bill Gates. Bill Gates is, there's people out there that think he's putting microchips in the vaccine and that's how he's going to keep track of you. Never mind the fact that you can keep track of you on your goddamn phone that you carry around everywhere you go anyway. And I think there's a little bit of that's thrown into this character, Nero, that is played up for that purpose. The last question I want to get into before we give this a rating is, if we got stuck in the Funhouse, which of the three of us would survive? Ziggy?
Jeez. You got to go through the whole popularity vote and everything, you know? I mean,
You got to go through the popularity vote. You got to go through the one-on-one challenges. You got to go through your solo challenges. Who would survive? Are you ballsy enough to say you would, Dick?
motherfucker. I ain't speaking Spanish, bitch. I'm swinging. I don't know. It's a horrible question to think, you know, but $5 million bucks, fuck the both of you. I'm getting paid.
We see where his loyalties lie. Colonel, what about you? Just for that, Colonel, just for that, let's gang up on Ziggy and kill him right out of the gate.
Oh, we fucking will. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to form an alliance with one of you fucking assholes. Or honestly, all three of us should. But Zach's like, oh, that's $5 million. Fuck, dude, I want to fucking live. I give a fuck less about that money. So I would say we form an alliance. We're on the final three. It's every man for him fucking self, and I'm winning. God damn it. You guys are closer to the finish line than I am.
I'd probably be that asshole that would sacrifice himself, you know, just to, you know, go ahead. You know, if you need to kill me, kill me. You know, good luck.
They're just taking the fucking high road here.
Tell my kids I love them.
Yeah, you got a bunch of likes saying that right there.
Well, yeah, exactly. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Shit, I'd be like that fucking chick. I'd take my shirt off so my man didn't. Y'all like what you see?
Do a little dance.
Flash him, Joe.
Oh, now,
I'm going to walk down that stinking aisle. I'm going to open this bathrobe and wiggle my dick out.
Ziggy, you brought up, you wanted to talk about kind of the plot twists and turns in this.
The suicide, I call that. I went, okay, they're shooting each other, they're shooting the guards, or they're shooting the monitor. That's all that's going to happen right here. The fucking end of that movie. Called it. Called it.
Who knew Nero?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Because that's why I don't really like this ending that well. It does set up a sequel. It just sets up the fact that, you know, these two idiots are still out there. What they don't really explain, and it's real hazy, you see somebody winning the game when the movie starts.
Right.
We get a winner at the end of the game, and she ends up finding her way back to Nero. She's like in on it. But how in on it was she? Was she a plant in the whole movie? Was she aware of it, or was she just that smart? Because she's the chess player, grandmaster. Is she smart enough just to find him when nobody else, the FBI, nobody could find this motherfucker? She comes walking right in. So that's the ending part of it. I was kind of like, But like Jigsaw, he had an apprentice as well.
Yes, I think so.
You see, like Jigsaw is why I think she was a plant. She was a mole.
Yeah,
because I mean, then she's like, that's the last time I let you beat me in chess.
Good catch, Colonel. I didn't even catch. You know, I caught the line, but I didn't catch the importance of it until you just mentioned it there.
I'm just saying, it just didn't shit on that beginning, though.
It did. That ending, I think, really hurt this movie more than it helped it.
Agreed.
Again, like I say, an unnecessary plot twist. An unnecessary twist.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to necessarily get into it too much because you guys have already said everything that I would say. Yeah, I just agree. Colonel, what would you rank this one? Give it a number, 0 to 10.
Oh, 0 to 10. God damn. I'll be honest. Like I said, when I watched the trailer, I was like, this is easily going to be a 2 or a 3. It ended up being an entertaining movie. Not the best, but entertaining. Like Zach said, I did not feel ripped off. Even I noticed this one I had to pay a little bit more when I rented it than I have in the past. I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like an extra 20 cents. I know. I got my extra 20 cents worth on this one. And I'd have to give it, I'd give it a solid 6. It was a fun watch. It was worth watching, but I don't really need to see it again.
All right, Ziggy, give this one a rating.
Again, you know, fans of the reality TV shows like Big Brother, maybe Survivor a little bit, are going to find things in here that are interesting. The fucking first act plays just like the first episode of Big Brother every year with the introductions.
Yep.
And find out what kind of douchebags they are. It's fucking great. Some real good practical gore would have really bolstered the fucking score here a lot for me. But man, it's a good watch. we're probably going to get a sequel here based on, it's now getting to America 2 years later. But I mean, just it's set up to do this again. I could see myself going, yeah, I would go see a sequel to this. But this one, it's all said and done. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to go with Colonel, man. I'm going to give it a 6 as well.
Well, Colonel brought up the Skarsgård brother, Walter, that's in this. I assume he's a brother. I don't know how he's related. He's obviously related. I can also tell why he's not as well known as his other family counterparts, because his acting's just not quite up to par with those guys. I mean, he wasn't bad, but wasn't great either. Most of the other cast were big time stereotypes that were easy to play off. There's not a whole lot of mind-blowing cinematography or plot choices that really blew me away.
So there's one plot choice I know that blew you away. So they went to fucking Oklahoma.
See, I was going to try to avoid this, but they did. There is a plot point that takes place in Grady County, Oklahoma, but I could see some oil baron in Oklahoma doing this kind of shit in some big ass underground bunker and just watching on his TV screen and laughing maniacally while smoking a cigar and drinking his brandy and watching these people kill each other. Yeah, I could see that, because people in Oklahoma are assholes. Some of them are. As for a rating for this film, I'm going to bump you guys just a little bit and give it a 6.5, because I had way more fun with this than I should have. I'm not saying it's great, but it's definitely worth a one-time view. I want you guys to take the ride that we had to take to review this film. I think some of you out there would enjoy it. Some of you are going to come back and be like, give me my $6 back. But, that's not the deal here. We don't do that.
I'd like to sit with the director and the writer and just kind of pick their brains a little bit on a couple of things.
Well,
just that ending kind of.
If we get a chance to see a Funhouse 2 in the future, maybe we could get Jason William Lee into the show to talk about it.
Yes.
So when I first saw Jason Lee was the director, I was hoping it wasn't the guy from Clerks and Mallrats.
Matt. Matt. Meow.
But it's not that Jason Lee. So anyway, Funhouse is available on video on demand right now. Check it out. Let us know what you think. And we'll be back with more Stories Around the Campfire. Woo!
I'll tell you what, Ski King. Why don't you just take your mama home some chicken, and then I won't have to stuff my boot all up in your ass. Fuck your mama. Fuck your sister. Fuck your grandma. Most of all, fuck you.
Hey everybody, you're watching Death Curse Society. That's why you can see me.
The Death Curse Society has just become an associate producer on the film.
Yes.
Bravo. Death Curse Society, guys, is so awesome. I met the guys, all three of the guys, at Indianapolis last year for Horror Hound. And I met those dudes, and I gotta tell you, I hung out with them. We took pictures. I signed some stuff. They gave me a T-shirt. It was awesome. They are awesome guys. So super cool. I am so glad to have them on board this campaign, and also on board the film. And now they are going to be IMDb credited as producers on this movie.
Hey, Zigzag here for Death Curse Society. If you enjoyed that video, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That's how you get these things served up right in front of you every time. And we've got more for you. Check them out right there. Maybe figure out what the fuck's wrong with us. I don't know. It's all right there at Death Curse Society. Click it and see for yourself.